for all of those of you that want to know about the Smugglers Run DLC, this will be a very comprehensive video covering all of the content included up to now, future planned content releases, as well as the mission details, nuances, and little things and tips you should know. So this should be a very detailed video containing everything. So let's get right into the content anyway. So first off, to start the DLC, you'll have to purchase a hangar. Now the hangars are located at two different locations. You can find the area to buy them by pulling the internet up and going to the maze foreclosure, which is on the hot tabs at the moment. The two locations I was talking about are either the Southwest Airport in the city, or you actually have access now to Fort Zancudo. This will actually give you low-level access to the base, which means you can drive through the front gate. You can go around the troops and generally travel around the base, but doing anything illegal will give you a wanted level. Once you've actually purchased a hangar, which will set you back between 1 to 3 million, there are 6 different modifications you can make to the hangar itself. You can change the painting style, which is very reminiscent of how the garages work. You can also change the lighting, the floor graphics, the office furniture, and add living quarters, which again is very reminiscent of how the new garages work. However, the workshops, these are the interesting parts overall. Once you add a workshop, you get a mechanic, but it's a little bit different than your normal garage. Not only do any of the new purchasable vehicles in the air category for the DLC get added to your hangar, you can actually take your Pegasus vehicles into your hangar and then add them as a personal vehicle. This has a few benefits. First is the obvious benefit of being able to respray the air vehicle itself. So here I have a Valkyrie and the Hydra. These have been repainted respectively, and they have access to all the custom paint jobs that any normal cars would. Unfortunately, there is no custom liveries or anything like that as to what I could see, and just to answer the question, you could not customize the loadout of any of the Pegasus vehicles that I tested. It does seem like any Pegasus vehicle can be stored in your hangar, and there's also a reserve storage in the back. So this area here where the aircraft are actually located isn't the only storage for this hangar. I don't know if there's a finite limit to how many vehicles you can have in storage, but I'm sure just one single hangar will be able to provide you with all the needs you have. One additional note to make about making a Pegasus vehicle a personal vehicle is that you can now call the vehicle in from the interaction menu, and this allows you to summon it nearby. This will allow you to summon it at standard airfields such as Fort Zancudo or the Southwest Airfield. However, you'll have access to a lot of additional spawn points that Pegasus normally doesn't have, so no matter where you're at, you'll be able to spawn the vehicle pretty close by. Also, testing seemed to reveal that the price of recovering a personal air vehicle is $1,000 in comparison to the Pegasus's $200 fee. The increased leisure of having a nearby spawn point will be offset by the increased price to the insurance costs. Going through the list of currently available content on the Warstock Cash and Carry website, we have access to our 4 weaponized vehicles. Now remember that all of these vehicles can be customized to several degrees, such as the bombs being changed between normal, gas, cluster, fire bombs, etc, etc. First we have the LF-22 Starling, which is considered one of the best jets in the game at the moment. It's incredibly durable and maneuverable. We have the Rogue for those World War II era fans. Now this is retrofitted with modern weaponry such as homing missiles, so don't be expecting it to lack a punch. It's definitely worth that price cost. The V65 Molotov is an absolutely devastatingly powerful beast, and we also have the Tula, which is an amazing vehicle. Even though it looks very much like a historic design, it's actually got a VTOL capability as well as amphibious capability, meaning that you can land this aircraft on the ocean all fine and smooth. It's also got a weapon mounted on the back, which allows you to acquire targets chasing you, which again gives it a solid all-around defense, and twin mounted machine guns on the front. These new vehicles introduced, which all have weapons, are very unique in their own way. They all have a gimmick to them, and I'm sure you guys will have a lot of fun getting used to these. There is a lot more released in the Smuggling Run DLC, it's just they're on the other tab, so let's get into those. In the Legendary Motorsports section, we get access to another supercar, the Grotti Vision. I apologize if I butchered the name of it here. Some of these car names in GTA are honestly a little bit over the top for me, but I'm sure somebody will correct me about that if I was wrong. At Southern San Andreas Super Autos, we have the Vapid Retinue. Okay, this car just looks absolutely terrible, and I'm almost sure nobody is going to grab it. I'm not exactly sure why Rockstar said, hey, let's introduce this crappy car and let's put a $615,000 price tag on it. I mean, just look at that Tornado right underneath for 378 grand. It's like a little bit over half the price, but it looks so much nicer. If you're into that Vapid, go ahead and grab it. It's not for me. And finally, on Elitist Travel, we have the Alpha Z1, the Ultralight, and the Havoc. Now, the Ultralight looks pretty interesting. I want to go and purchase one of these later on to test it out and show you guys what it looks like and show you guys how it actually flies. But for now, it just looks like an interesting vehicle. Now, a lot of people will be wondering where all the vehicles that were advertised in the trailer and were even leaked among other things are, as you can't currently find them in Warstock Cash and Carry or any other areas. Now, I have a picture up here which shows all of the unlockable vehicles that will be soon purchasable, but the current story is that Rockstar has them locked. They'll automatically be released in the future and they'll be drip fed to us over the current weeks. So what we'll be able to get access to is the Laser for a price tag of 6.5 million, which is a little bit over the top. We've got the FH1 Hunter, which is actually the Hunter returning from San Andreas. That's freaking amazing. I have waited for this Hunter to come back into GTA 5 for such a long time. I've been tempted and teased with it. They had it in that movie in the theaters, and I've just always wanted it to make some kind of return. It's finally back, guys, but we'll still have to wait just a little bit longer. We've also got some kind of Batman style vehicle coming to the game in the future. I'm not sure what kind of gimmick this will have. A lot of people who have played the recent DLCs will know that all the vehicles are very creative and unique, so I'm sure this isn't just going to be a standard vehicle, especially considering it's on Warstock Cash and Carry. There's going to be some secret armaments in there, and it's definitely looking like it's got heavy armor. There's no actual release date for when these things will be coming out. All I know is they'll be coming out in the next coming weeks, guys. But I hope you're really looking forward to these releases, because I am, and this is the most exciting part. So it's a little bit disappointing and annoying that we don't have them yet. Now, I'm sure one of the main things that has been on people's minds is how much money can you earn from this DLC and how is the best way to earn it. So first off, if you want to start earning money from the DLC, you'll have to go upstairs into the laptop room. Once you go to the laptop, you'll have to do an initial setup mission. This will be very familiar if you purchased a bunker and done the initial setup mission for that. After doing that initial setup mission, you'll gain access to the resources tab. This allows you to resupply certain resources. Now, this is very similar to the CEO missions, except for you get to choose the available resource from all available resources in the categories. You can choose which ones you want to specifically get, and when you do choose a specific resource, the mission will start. Now, the mission will have a varied objective. Anyone who's played GTA 5 for a while will be very familiar to this. I'll be listing the objectives and differences in missions and all the random things that can happen in this portion of the video, so this will be very educational if you want to farm these efficiently and quickly. The first mission I'll be going through is where you're given an objective to destroy so many jammers throughout the map. Now, in this mission you're given access to the Hunter. Something I'd like to know is in all of the missions you're given a unique vehicle, so you don't actually have to have any air vehicles yourself, they'll provide one for you. However, if you do have access to a fast military jet such as the Hydra, it's probably much better to choose that and go around the map, and much quicker to do it that way. In the jamming mission run, nothing particularly eventful really happens. You've got to destroy all the jammers, and then after this you get a call which gives you the signal of the resources, and you've got to take this back to your base and you get the resupply. The only real difficulty in this mission is after you destroy all of the jammers and initially pick up the resources, you will get waves of enemies spawning on you. Now, the several times I did this mission, it only seemed to spawn buzzards, but the Hunter can actually outfly and outspeed buzzards, so if you just rush back to your base, you'll quickly get out of the range and they won't be able to shoot you anymore and do any damage. I'd say this is probably one of the more easier missions, but honestly speaking, it's probably the most tedious. It takes the longest amount of time, and although there is a time limit to it, you'll probably come close to that time limit but never actually come close to breaking it. You'll always have another 2 minutes to spare at least. The second mission I encountered was having to take a sea breeze equipped with bombs, destroying several targets across the map, and picking up any cargo from the debris of the vehicles we just blew up. This mission's relatively easy, and if you do get a string of luck getting the cargo at the first drop, it can be completed extremely quickly. The Sea Breeze isn't really an exceptionally fast plane, so this is definitely one of the missions I'd recommend pulling the Hydra out if there was going to be one. After picking up your cargo, you'll get some enemy waves spawning. Unlike the last mission, this mission will actually contain military jets. They'll be coming onto you with locked on homing missiles, so you'll want to be taking a fast jet. This is additionally the reason why I'd actually advise the Hydra in this situation, because the maneuverability as well as the guns it has on it give it extremely good capabilities and chance of getting back to your base and actually surviving the situation. The third mission type contains several locations, but the actual objective and way it works is identical. You're given a chopper of a specific faction, so this could be say Merryweather or an ambulance. You've got to go to a target location. One person optimally sits in the side with a thermal sniper and takes all the targets out. They do have a cone of field, so they won't be instantly alerted when you shoot. And after killing a random person within the crowd, they'll release crates. You pick these up and then you've got to evacuate. As always, you'll have some waves of enemies chasing you. This time it'll go back to regular buzzards. If you have any kind of fast vehicle, again, you'll outrun them very quickly. The next mission, in my opinion, is actually the most fun one of all of them. You've got to go to a target location and then escort a Titan to its destination. As you escort the Titan, it will be pounded by waves and waves of buzzards. These seem to almost instantaneously respawn as you destroy the pair of them, and honestly, it's kind of straightforward. I'm not really going to offer many tips to this one. The only thing I would say is if you're going to solo this mission, don't take the default vehicle. It has some very bad maneuverability, speed issues among other things, and it's very ill-equipped for the mission overall. If you really don't have access to any Hydrojet or anything like that, I'd just take one of the lasers from the military base before you head out to the waypoint to initiate the mission. Once you've gotten the Titan to where it needs to go, you'll be given the location of your resources that you can go get, and once you've gotten those, buzzards will continuously respawn to attack you. You know the drill here. Get a fast vehicle, get the hell out of there, and get your cargo delivered to your hangar. If you're a fan of Ace Combat, you're going to especially enjoy this mission in particular. You've got to go to an interception point and then take down some cargo planes with an escort. Destroying the cargo planes will release cargo that you can then pick up, but the majority of the fun in this mission comes from just dodging crazy amounts of weapon missile lock-ons, and also the fact that you can deploy flares and shoot barrages of missiles yourself. There's a lot of explosions going on here, some action-packed music, and it's really adrenaline rushing. Once you actually pick up the cargo in this mission, the enemies that will spawn are in military jets, so you'll want to take particular care to avoid the missile lock-ons, and this one is one of the missions that has a little bit more of a difficulty curve, considering that in the initial fight there are a large amount of chances for you to be taken down. Just remember that the jet you are in can deploy flares to kind of break those missile locks, and that's going to be very important to complete in this mission. The next one takes us across all of Grand Theft Auto 5's environment. We've got to take an aircraft, so any aircraft is applicable here, guys. And then we have to fly under a preset amount of bridges. Not all of them, but quite a large amount. Now this is very similar to the world event that happens, and if you're good at that, you'll be good at this. Just remember, as a general tip, you can take a helicopter if you're not good at flying planes underneath the bridges. I'll also say that when you start this mission up, look at the southeast side of the map. There is quite a number of waypoints in close proximity, quite close together, and they are really easy to fly through. There's no skill required really, and they give you a huge portion of bonus to the mission. It's probably the fastest way to get this up, so that's just a good tip if you want to do this. After filling up the excitement meter to the maximum, you'll be given a call and the location of your crate. In this mission, however, I didn't actually get chased. I'm not sure if the RNG element has a chance of being turned off and you won't get chased, but it might just be possible in this specific mission. There's no enemies that chase you around. One of the last mission types has us flying to a salvage site. Now we take the amphibious plane along here and it is somewhat required, although if you have a Hydra again, that will work because of the VTOL capability. Once you get to the salvage site, you'll have to blow up quite a few boats and personnel there, and then you can land the plane on the water, dive down, grab the crates from the bottom of the ocean, take back off and start going back to your base. For some strange reason, in a lot of these instances where they give you a plane, again, buzzards are chasing you, so you'll just vastly outrun them. The last mission type I actually got to play was deleted because of recording issues. My PC actually crashed while I was in the middle of recording it, and that corrupted the stream itself. It's basically just going to a location, taking out all the targets within it, very similar to the one where you have to do it silently using one of the faction's vehicles, but in this one you were just given a bomber jet and no chance to do it quietly. I can't particularly remember which vehicles were chasing you, but I do remember with the capabilities of the jet, it really wasn't much of an issue, so if you have a Hydra, you'll be able to do it even better. I think that covers all the missions, and I do apologize if I've missed anything out here. One important thing to remember, and this is very important, so make sure you are paying attention if you've zoned out a little bit. When you are doing missions and you've completed the initial objective, you're given the location of your crate. Sometimes it will spawn as a vehicle, so this is very similar to the CEO missions where you can get some of your crates spawning as a vehicle and you've got to drive them back to your warehouse. Now you still have that same option in this DLC, but you can actually blow the vehicle up, obtain the crate, and then say for example get in a plane and fly back to your hangar, which is much quicker. You won't lose any additional resources and there's no real detriment to doing this, so I would advise that everybody do this. Another thing to note, it does seem like the amount of crates that you can obtain from the mission is relevant to the amount of members inside your organization currently. So say for example you're at 1 member, you'll get 1 crate, 2 members 2 crates, and so on and so forth. This is an important note to remember, and honestly speaking, I did not manage to fill my hangar up yet. I will be giving the final report on this when it is in, but considering it seems to be very team oriented, especially with the fact that you require a higher number of people in your organization, preferably 4 to get 4 crates from each mission, I'm wondering if the final mission does have some sort of shared payment. Anyway guys, I hope this video was very informative. I think I've covered every single thing released in this new DLC, or at least most of the important details and unknown things that people would have been looking forward to. I thought I'd also cover all of the missions because I know people are interested on the walkthroughs for those, so I really do hope you have enjoyed this one. I put a lot of effort into this. If you did learn even one thing that really did change your GTA experience or is going to help you in one way or another, please do leave a like and a subscribe. It's the biggest thing you could do in return for me, and I'd very much appreciate that. I've got a Twitter if you want to follow that and keep up to date with the latest information. I'm going to start doing polls on there as well, which will help direct the future of the channel's video creation, so you'll be able to have a chance to influence what the future topics of my videos are. For now though guys, hope you're having a beautiful day. As always, take it easy and peace.